Hello, in this final section of the course, we will model a real-life situation with a trigonometric function. So let's read this example and understand it carefully. We were told that cabin pressure in an airplane is modeled by a function p equaling to 11.5 minus half of sine t minus 2, where t stands for hours into the journey of the airplane. Okay, so what are we asked to do? We are asked to find or rather state the minimum and maximum of the cabin pressure. Well, that is the minimum and maximum of this equation P equaling to 11.5. We know from a fact that sine has maximum and minimum value of 1 and minus 1. So this part of the equation that I'm putting brackets around can vary between plus 1 and minus 1. Okay, and this is multiplied by a scale factor of minus a half. So we will have either 11.5 take away as 0.5, or rather, when it's multiplied by negative 1, it will turn into a plus 0.5. So pressure will vary between 11.5 adding or subtracting simply a half to it. So of course the upper bound will be 12 and the lower value will be 11. Okay, so the minimum is 11 psi and maximum pressure is 12 psi. Okay, so that answers part A of the problem. So as I simply put it, we can replace sine with either a plus 1 or a minus 1 in our calculation to get the answer we were looking for. In part B of the problem, we were asked to find the time after reaching the cruise altitude that the cabin first reaches its maximum. So we said that the maximum will be 12. What we're going to do basically is to replace p with 12 in this equation and solve it for value of t, because that's giving us time, right? So let's do that. 12 take away 11.5 will leave us a half on the left hand side. Then we divide half by a negative half and we'll have a minus 1. Take sine inverse of a minus 1, we will have a negative pi over 2. Negative pi over 2, right? We're going to add 2 to it, and that would be the first value, the lowest value for t, that will give us the maximum pressure. That time is 0.43 of an hour. Okay, so we take 60 minutes and multiply it by 0.43. 60 times 0.43 will give us 26 minutes, and we can round it up to nearest minute, which is 26. Okay, so let's look at the next part of the question. Next part of the question is asking us to calculate the pressure after 5 hours. Okay, then that simply, as the graph here I've put on the right side, is showing us what's the value of that expression p when t equals to 5. All we have to do is substitute 5 into that expression and we will get actually 3. Can we calculate sine of 3? Yes, because our calculator should be in mode, so that's fine. So the final answer was 11.43. So part D of the problem is asking us find all times during the first 8 hours of the cruise that the cabin pressure will be exactly 11.3. Okay, so first of all we have to make sure that our range of t is between 0 and 8. And then what we have to do is we adjust the range. We say in our equation here we have t minus 2, so we take 2 away from both sides of this inequality. We'll have minus 2 and 6 there, and then we start solving our equation. We take away 11.5 from both sides, we divide by half, we take sine inverse of 0.4, and we are going to, after we actually, this is the sine inverse of 0.4, which looks similar to 0.4. Then we say sine angles will have their alternate value at pi minus theta. So pi minus 0.4 will give us the other value, which is 2.73. So these two values are, this is pi minus 0.41, and these two values we need to go between minus 2 and 6, so we need to go ahead and subtract 2 pi. Now if we subtract 2 pi from 0.4, that would be too far to the left, but if we subtract 2 pi from 2.7, 2 pi is 6, so that would be too far to the left as well. So we actually need to add 2 pi to each of these two values. So adding 2 pi to both sides, both of those values, will give us these other answers as well. And actually adding 2 pi will take us it is good to actually calculate it. Adding 2 pi here will take, because 2 pi is 6.3, will take us above the value of 6, so there's no point, we can discard those values before we calculate them. Don't waste your time there, but you do need to make sure you do calculate them. So then we can add 2 to each of those two values to get the value for t, and that simply gives us these values that we need to turn into minutes. So you're going to just take the decimal value 0.41 and multiply it by 60 to get 25 minutes, and you're going to take the value for 0.73 and times it by 60, so that you get the minutes of, and add it to 4 hours. So that will give you the 44 minutes that we have here. Okay, so real life applications, you need to be a little bit more practical when you see these kind of questions coming up. So good luck practicing. Well done for reaching this far into the course, and don't give up. I know those problems are hard, but I believe you can tackle them. Alright, see you in the next section of the videos.